the truth that sets you free, finding joy in meaningful work. Welcome to Soft Girl Era, the sacred pause Black women have been waiting for. I'm LeAnne Dolce, pronounced Dolce, like sweet softness whispered in French, and I'm your guide from burnout to boundaries, from doing to being, from strong to soft, and loving every second of it. Today, I want to share something with you that came from a conversation I had recently with Jamie Harvey. Jamie Harvey is someone who understands what it means to build something meaningful while staying rooted in truth and joy. They've spent their career helping Black professionals, business leaders, and entrepreneurs create lives that don't just look successful on paper, but feel successful in their bones. Jamie Harvey is changing the world by teaching us that success without joy is just exhaustion with a title, and that meaningful work begins when we stop performing and start living. After sitting down with them, I walked away with intense insights that I knew I had to share with you because they speak directly to what we're all trying to do here in our soft girl era: live truthfully, joyfully, and meaningfully without apology. Let me be honest with you. For years, I thought joy was something you earned after you checked off every box on your to do list. I thought meaning was something you found after you'd proven yourself to everyone who ever doubted you. And truth? Well, truth was something you told other people, but not necessarily yourself. Because telling yourself the truth meant admitting you were tired, it meant admitting you were carrying too much. It meant admitting that the cape you'd been wearing wasn't actually a symbol of strength. It was a weight that was slowly crushing you. But here's what Jamie Harvey helped me see, and what I want you to hear today: embracing truth leads to authentic joy. When we choose to be honest with ourselves and others, we create space for genuine happiness and deeper meaning in our lives. And that's not just a nice idea, that's a lifeline. Because the truth is, most of us have been taught to survive, not to live. We've been taught to push through, to keep going, to never let them see you sweat. And sure, that works for a while. But eventually, you wake up one day and realize you don't even recognize the person staring back at you in the mirror. You've been so busy being strong for everyone else that you forgot what it feels like to just be. Jamie Harvey shared something with me that really stuck. They said that meaningful achievements require facing challenges head on. The path to success is rarely easy, but meeting obstacles with openness and determination allows us to create outcomes that matter. And I sat there thinking, yes, that's it. That's the thing we've been missing. We've been so focused on avoiding pain, on making everything look easy, that we've forgotten that the struggle is actually where the meaning lives. Let me tell you about someone who embodies this truth: Frank Sullivan. Frank led an organization called EPS Momentum through one of the most challenging transitions you can imagine, consolidating 6 facilities into one cohesive operation. Now, if you've ever tried to merge 2 households, you know how hard that is. Imagine merging 6 entire workplaces, each with its own culture, its own way of doing things, its own people who are scared and uncertain about what's coming next. Frank could have done what a lot of leaders do. He could have sent out a memo, made some announcements, and expected everyone to just fall in line. But he didn't, because Frank understood something that Jamie Harvey emphasized in our conversation: truth is the foundation of everything. Frank fostered transparent communication. He encouraged team members to share their truths about the transition. He didn't sugarcoat the challenges. He didn't pretend it was going to be easy. He said, "This is hard, and it's okay to say that it's hard." And you know what happened? People started to trust him. They started to trust each other. They started to see that this consolidation wasn't just about cutting costs or improving efficiency. It was about creating something meaningful. It was about building a stronger, more unified culture where everyone had a voice and everyone mattered. Before Frank stepped in, EPS Momentum operated in silos. Six separate facilities meant six separate worlds. People didn't know each other, they didn't collaborate, they didn't share purpose. It was survival mode, organizational edition. Everyone was just trying to get through the day without stepping on toes or making waves. But Frank's outspoken leadership broke down those barriers. He didn't just talk about unity, he created the conditions for it. He made space for people to be honest about their fears, their frustrations, their hopes. And in doing so, he transformed not just the structure of the organization, but the soul of it. The consolidation was completed successfully. Productivity went up, morale went up, and EPS Momentum became a model for other Black led organizations seeking to drive change through truth and meaningful action. But here's the thing that really gets me. It wasn't the success that made the difference. It was the way they got there. It was the honesty. It was the vulnerability. It was the willingness to say, we don't have all the answers, but we're going to figure this out together. That's what joyful, meaningful living looks like. It's not about having it all figured out. It's not about being perfect. It's about showing up, telling the truth, and trusting that when you do, something beautiful can happen. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking that sounds great, LeAnne, but I don't have time for all that. I've got bills to pay. I've got people depending on me. I've got a job that's already demanding everything I've got and then some. And I hear you. I really do, because I've been there. I've been the woman who thought that if I just worked a little harder, pushed a little more, sacrificed a little longer, then eventually I'd get to the place where I could rest, where I could be soft, where I could finally exhale. But here's the truth that Jamie Harvey helped me see, and that Frank Sullivan's story illustrates so beautifully. You don't get to joy by waiting for permission. You don't get to meaning by earning it. You get there by choosing it right now, today, in the middle of the mess and the uncertainty and the fear. Because when you lead with truth and purpose, your impact ripples outward, empowering others and uplifting your communities. That's the third thing Jamie Harvey wanted us to remember. Joyful, meaningful living inspires broader change. It's not selfish. It's not indulgent. It's actually the most generous thing you can do, because when you give yourself permission to live truthfully and joyfully, you give everyone around you permission to do the same. Think about the people in your life who inspire you. I'm willing to bet they're not the ones who have it all together. They're the ones who are honest about their struggles. They're the ones who laugh at themselves. They're the ones who say, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing it anyway. Those are the people who change the world, not because they're perfect, but because they're real. And that's what your soft girl era is really about. It's about being real. It's about dropping the cape. It's about saying, I'm tired of pretending and I'm ready to start living. It's about redefining strength, not as the ability to carry everything, but as the courage to put some things down. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to challenge yourself to speak your truth joyfully and seek meaning in every interaction, whether in your career, business, or personal life. Let honesty and purpose guide your decisions and relationships. That's the actionable takeaway from my conversation with Jamie Harvey. And I know it sounds simple, but simple doesn't mean easy. Speaking your truth means having the hard conversations. It means telling your boss that you can't take on another project. It means telling your family that you need a break. It means telling yourself that you deserve rest, that you deserve joy, that you deserve to be soft in a world that taught you survival. Seeking meaning in every interaction means showing up fully. It means being present. It means asking yourself, does this align with who I am and who I want to be? And if the answer is no, it means having the courage to walk away. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you this is going to be easy. It's not. There will be people who don't understand. There will be people who try to make you feel guilty. There will be moments when you question whether you're doing the right thing. But I promise you, on the other side of that discomfort is a life that feels like yours, a life that's filled with authentic joy, a life that's grounded in meaning. Frank Sullivan and his team at EPS Momentum didn't just consolidate facilities, they created a culture where people felt seen, heard, and valued. They proved that when you lead with truth and purpose, you don't just change an organization, you change lives. And that's what we're doing here too. We're not just talking about self care and boundaries and softness because it sounds nice. We're talking about it because it's revolutionary. Because when Black women choose themselves, when we choose truth and joy and meaning, we change everything. The team at EPS Momentum celebrated the successful merging of operations, increased productivity, and the cultivation of a joyful, supportive work environment. But what they really celebrated was the fact that they'd created something that mattered. They'd built something that felt good, not just something that looked good on a quarterly report. They'd proven that you can be successful and joyful at the same time, that you can be productive and human at the same time, that you can lead with your whole heart and still get results. And here's the thing, that transformation didn't happen because Frank had some magic formula. It happened because he was willing to be honest. He was willing to be vulnerable. He was willing to admit that he didn't have all the answers, but that he was committed to finding them together with his team. That's leadership, that's courage. That's what it looks like to live truthfully and meaningfully. So, as we close out today, I want you to sit with this question: how are you learning to be soft in a world that taught you survival? What's one truth you've been avoiding? What's one area of your life where you've been choosing obligation over joy? And what would it look like to make a different choice? You don't have to have all the answers right now. You just have to be willing to start asking the questions. You just have to be willing to take one small step toward a life that feels true, because that's where the magic happens. That's where the transformation begins. That's where you find out that joy isn't something you earn, it's something you choose. And meaning isn't something you stumble upon, it is something you create. But I want to leave you with something more than just a question. I want to leave you with a challenge, a real one, the kind that makes your stomach flip a little because you know it's going to require something from you. Here it is. I want you to identify one place in your life right now where you've been choosing survival over joy. One relationship, one job, one habit, one belief that's keeping you small. And I want you to do something about it. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Maybe it's sending that text you've been avoiding. Maybe it's having that conversation you've been putting off. Maybe it's setting that boundary you've been too afraid to enforce. Maybe it's simply admitting to yourself that you're tired and that it's okay to rest. Whatever it is, I want you to do it with honesty and with joy. Not because it's going to be easy, but because you deserve a life that feels like yours. You deserve to wake up in the morning and recognize the person in the mirror. You deserve to feel proud of the choices you're making, not just the boxes you're checking. Because here's the truth, the world doesn't need another version of you that's performing strength. The world needs the real you, the soft you, the honest you, the you that's willing to say, I don't have it all figured out, but I'm trying. The you that's willing to choose joy, even when it's inconvenient. The you that's willing to seek meaning, even when it's uncomfortable. That's the you that changes everything. That's the you that inspires others. That's the you that creates a ripple effect so powerful that it transforms not just your life, but the lives of everyone around you. So go ahead, drop the cape, speak your truth, Seek your joy, build your meaning, and watch what happens when you do. Because your truth is your power, your joy is your birthright, and your softness is your strength. Now go live like you believe it.